Hi, this is part 2 of lesson 8.2, Converse of Pythagorean theorem and Pythagorean inequality theorem. Converse of Pythagorean theorem, we just swap the statements. If the square of the length of the longest side, which is the C or the hypotenuse side, is equal to the sum of the squares of the length of the two legs, then the triangle is right. Okay, so we use this to determine whether the given sides are going to form a right angle triangle or not. And the second part of this lesson, the second part of this is Pythagorean inequality theorem, which states that if the C, and remember that the C has to be the longest side of the given, okay? So if C squared is less than A squared and A squared plus B squared, then the triangle is going to be acute. And this makes sense, because this is the longest side. This is not going to be longer than the C. So if this side gets smaller, if C gets smaller, this right angle is going to be, the angle between the sides A and B is going to be less than 90 degree. Okay, and these two are going to be automatically acute angles. So this is going to be an acute triangle. Okay, the second part of inequality is if C squared. So this time, if this C, the length C, is greater than the C in the right angle triangle, what will happen? This 90 degree is going to be greater than, this 90 degree is going to be greater than, the angle is going to be greater than 90 in this case. Okay, so if one of the angle of a triangle is more than 90 degrees, and then the triangle is obtuse triangle. Okay, how do we apply this in our questions for the homework? The question is determine whether each set of numbers can be the measures of the sides of triangle. The first thing is to determine whether these given sides, they can form a triangle or not. So here, by triangle inequality theorem, the sum of two sides of a triangle must be greater than the measure of the third side. But here we are going to be comparing only two smaller sides with the greater one. So 6 plus 5 should be greater than 8. So this will form a triangle. Okay, next step is to determine whether it is going to form a right angle triangle, acute triangle, or obtuse triangle. So if so, classify the triangle as acute, obtuse, and right. Okay, so start with the theorem again. And in this case, this time we are going to be comparing the C squared and the sum of A squared and B squared. So here we have C squared. I'm not going to put any sign between them, and the other side is A squared plus B squared. So C has to be the longest one. So longest is 8 squared. A is 5 plus 6 squared. Okay, I didn't put any sign. In the end we can see 8 squared is what? 64. 5 squared is 25 plus 6 squared is 36. 25 plus 36 is 61, and the square of the longest side is 64. So C squared is greater than A squared plus B squared. Look at this. It is this condition. If C squared is greater than A squared plus B squared, then the triangle is going to be obtuse triangle. So now you can put the sign at the end and write here the triangle is obtuse. Okay, it's obtuse triangle. Okay, in example 2, again we have to check whether it is going to form a triangle or no. The longest side is 15. So 15 should be less than 9 plus 12. 9 plus 12 is 21, and 21 is greater than 15, so it will form a triangle. And now let's test whether it is going to be a right triangle, obtuse, or acute triangle. So c squared, a squared plus b squared. C is 15. 15 squared. A squared is, a is 9 squared plus 12 squared. So 15 squared. 15 squared is 225. 9 squared is 81. 12 squared is 144. So 81 plus 144 is equal to 225. So 225 or 225, both sides are equal. So this will be a right triangle. Okay, the last one, c squared, a squared plus b squared. The longest of these three, I've got to determine whether they form a right angle, whether they form a triangle or no. The longest side here is 13. 13 should be less than the sum of the two smaller sides. So 12 plus 8 is 20, which is greater than 13. So it forms a triangle. And now let's check whether it is a right, acute, or obtuse. C squared, 13 squared. A is 12 squared plus 8 squared. Just substitution. 13 squared is 169. 12 squared is 144 plus 8 squared is 64. Okay, so 169, 144 plus 64 plus 64 is equal to 208. So if c squared is less than, look at this, if c squared is less than a squared plus b squared, then the triangle is going to be acute triangle. So these three sides are going to form acute triangle. Okay, thanks for watching.